Hey, and we live, man. We're live.
Made it.
We made it. Yo, welcome to the alternate timeline. This is Dennis Smith, and this is a bonus episode. Our first live guest, one of my best friends. Grew up with my guy, Archit Sahai. How we doing, man?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. First live guest.
Yeah, man. First live guest. I had to drag you over here.
Had to do it. Wouldn't have missed it.
Like I drag you to all these movies. Oh, snap! Got us over here on the phone too. Yeah, I feel like I drag you to all these movies, man.
I don't know about drag. I'm interested too. I'm not into it as much, but
yeah, on a level of like 1 to 10, I feel like you're like 6, 7. Like I'm into it.
Yeah. I say I'm a 7. Like 7. I know
you like it.
I know all the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know all the extra. Like I don't know everything happening in the comics and
connecting,
around.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, I enjoy you as my movie partner as well too. So
absolutely, always nice. There.
Yeah, man. So the past couple videos I've made, I think people have heard me talk about. I was busy last weekend.
You were busy, huh? We took up a little bit of your time.
I was busy last weekend. I was part of an Indian wedding. It was about a 4-day thing, and because of this guy, he's the reason. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, man, and get kind of your experience with it all. I loved it because it's a different culture for me to experience. I love different cultures, so
for sure.
I think that added an extra like excitement for me. I mean, as you could tell on the dance floor.
Yeah, you were out there.
I don't do that at every wedding. But this one I was into it. So I just want to talk about your experience. Ask you about your experience with it all. Basically, like weeks leading up to, days before, and then just like during it, man. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I think it probably exceeded even our expectations, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would say it's not even like months leading up to it. The thing took probably like a year or so to plan and all. And a lot of credit goes to Xenia for that because she primarily planned most of it. But
which Xenia is here, by the way. Yeah. She's in the back listening. How we doing, Xenia?
Good.
She's good.
But yeah, man, it was a lot to plan for sure, though. There's so many, as you saw, 4 days, multiple events in each day. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And I don't know what everyone else's experience has been in the wedding industry, but like these vendors, one, it costs way more money than you think it should cost. And then two, working with the vendors is just like sometimes you don't hear back for weeks, and then you're like, oh, I want it done this way, and they're like, no, we can't do it that way. So like putting all that together with like the vision that you have and the vision that they're actually able to deliver is like a bit of a frustrating process, but I think all in all...
How much of that was you in that, or was that mostly Xenia?
I think mostly Xenia. Mm-hmm. I like took over... I got assigned like hotels, transportation, and then I was like the primary contact for Manor House. Mm-hmm. But everything else, like all the other vendors was Xenia, so we call it like 25-75 pretty much.
Wow.
And even my small 25%, I was like, this is like... I can't wait for this to be done, over with. But yeah, the actual week itself was incredible.
Yeah.
Like I think I come from like a large family, so I have like cousins in Australia, cousins in England, and to like get everyone, even just an excuse to have everyone in the same spot's really cool. So that I think was amazing. And then like each event being its own thing and having everyone, like you got to meet my cousins that
everybody, man,
you never met otherwise, and like we got to meet like Xenia's family and cousins I would never gotten to meet otherwise. So that's all I think made it extra special on top of like the normal wedding stuff that you get excited about.
Yeah, for sure. And so I wanted to get a little bit into like the food, as well, because like you got food from a bunch of different places, right?
Yeah.
How was that process, like picking out the food and stuff?
So it started on for the first thing you came to was Thursday.
Yeah.
We had that live bhatura guy, which like for you guys I don't know what a bhatura is. It's like a fried dough.
Oh yeah.
They were like doing it live, like in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
And then so that was like Bowerchi in Mason. It's like right down the street from you. So we knew we wanted to keep it traditional with like Indian. So like Thursday was Indian, Friday was Indian. We went through like a caterer at the same venue that we had the venue with on Friday, and then like Saturday we were like, maybe we should put in some American food at the tail end, because like 4 days of Indian, even for us, was like, man, this is going to be a lot of Indian.
Man, I went into it like I want the full Indian experience.
Yeah,
I was into it.
Yeah, and there's people that I think would embrace it, and then there's other people that would probably be like,
some that we know like, of.
Yeah, so, no name specifically. Probably he might be watching, but
I'm gonna send this to them boys too. Might as well.
But yeah, it's crazy how everything does eventually come together. Like, I think all of our vendors, for all the trouble it was worth, ended up doing a great job. So no complaints.
That's awesome.
And had you had that much Indian food before? Like, I know you've been to my house and like tried.
Not that much in a row.
I was gonna say, and like the variety, unless you're like, even if you're going to Indian restaurants, I'm sure you're not getting like the variety of things that we had. Yeah. So like, I think that was probably unique in like the amount of dishes and like the things that because this isn't just like tikka masala. Like there was like five
right. It wasn't. Yeah. I think you guys. We didn't even have that, right? We didn't have.
Probably we might have had it one day, maybe.
I don't remember having it at all. No.
We didn't put that on.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever there. Which I'm happy about. I'm happy I got different stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a list of the names of what we got because I need it.
We probably get it to you. But even like Friday was like a few like fusion Indian. That was different for us. Even like the
Friday night,
like the chicken on a stick, and like
that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that's not traditionally what we would do.
Yeah,
like it's not traditional Indian dish. So
yeah, I called it like chicken on a stick with like the barbecue sauce. What was it called again? The sauce.
The tamarind sauce.
Tamarind sauce.
Yeah, we call it like brown chutney, but
that shit's good.
Yeah, it's fire. You can put that on just about anything.
Yeah,
it's good. So good.
I could add that to my cooking if I need some more sauce. And then so another one I want to talk about was the performances.
Yeah.
I was part of one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt good about it. And then I saw everybody else do it. I'm like, yo, I feel like I got outshined. And then you were part of 5?
4 or 5, yeah.
Xenia, you were part of like 5-ish as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that, like, trying to memorize all of that too? Like, how much did you have to memorize in general?
Yeah, I think so. We could take a backtrack. So like the Sangeet on Friday is like basically like a welcoming for the family. So like it's traditionally done on the bride's side. Yeah. And basically it's traditionally done in India. If we were doing it, it's almost like competitive in a way. It'd be like my side versus her side, and it'd be back and forth. It's just like a fun way to get the families to know each other.
Yeah.
But as far as like from our involvement, it's like we had started our rehearsal like a month, like 3 weeks,
like
3 weeks before.
Like the you and Xenia dancing?
Yeah. Gotcha. And like, I don't know, I think I've always been quick just memorizing things. So like the steps to me didn't take long to memorize. It was more like actually making it look nice, like the flow of it, I think was the harder part. So like we got hours down, and then I started learning the one that we all were doing. Yeah. And that took me about a day or two.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. Once you know what you're doing, it's all just about making it look nice.
We just had to get together at the end and make sure we were on the same page. A lot of these dudes couldn't body roll.
Yeah, the body roll.
The body roll part.
I watched one of the videos, and some of them are still suspect. I can't wait to watch them back for full.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's labor of love though. Like you loved, like it's pretty much all you do. And my family was just practicing the entire time. Mm-hmm. That's like what you do wedding week is you practice your Sangeet dance. Yeah. It's like something to keep you busy.
Got you. Anything else you remember like from preparation, like that stuck out to you? Like something that was hard, or just something that was like.
I mean, had to go to New Jersey for the clothes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. So
for all 3 of your outfits?
And my outfits and your outfit. All your outfits. So like basically like talk to the designer there to be like, this is what we want to do with my outfit, but then also like changing the colors for your guys' outfit. And we put the gold in to make sure it matched.
So yeah, how'd you come up with ours? Like we had a purple and gold outfit, kurta with the vest.
Yeah.
Purple and gold, which are some of my favorite colors. But you wore the white with the hat pink.
Yeah.
So what, how did you come up with those two things together?
Yeah, so like traditionally the groom wears like some kind of like a gold almost, like that's gold with like a red like dupatta or like the cat that I was wearing. That is like the traditional way to go if you're in India. I've always liked like the creamier or like the white kurtas, and my family doesn't let me wear them as much, but it was my wedding, so then I was like, I'm doing it like this.
Yeah.
And then the pink we knew from Zine, I knew what color she like sent me like a picture, and then her designer in India sent my designer like a swatch of her sari, so we could like match exactly what the colors were off that.
So hers is called a what?
Hers is she actually wore a langa, but it's you could wear a sari, but it's basically like a sari that comes like pre-stitched almost, just so like you put it on like a skirt.
And this was the Friday morning one, or the Friday afternoon one?
This was, I'm talking about Saturday morning. Friday,
Saturday
morning, Friday evening.
Friday evening, you wore like the black.
I wore like something.
Was it blue or black?
It was like a dark navy blue.
Navy, and then you had the shoes. You were stunting on that.
Yeah.
I thought I was looking good. You know what I mean? You walked in, I was like, whoa. I think our boy Shiv, Shiv.
Yeah.
He DM'd me. He was like, man, you always looking good, but man, Archit was stepping out. Like, he thought I was gonna ruin your wedding. He said, but Archit looked good. I was like, yeah, he's stunned on us.
Yeah, those are like traditional shoes too. So
yeah, the shoes. Everybody loved the shoes there.
Yeah.
And how'd you come up with that outfit?
That one actually. So I was in a year and a half ago. Was my cousin's wedding in India. So that one we had just bought to like have as like a formal outfit if I needed it for whatever reason. And then as like things were coming together, we're like, oh, this looks really nice. We could just put this on for Friday evening instead of buying something else. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then so Saturday, two ceremonies.
Kept people all day.
Yeah. So I wasn't used to that, and I don't even think I was ready for that until it was happening.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm sorry I didn't read the PDF very much. I went off of that text that you sent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I sent it too, because I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the only.
We're gonna follow that.
Yeah, this is the only information, and then I realized that in that one I'd said Saturday details to come, and I don't think I ever said that. But yeah, so two ceremonies.
Yeah.
Was it a lot for you?
Not really. I'm used to the heat. Like, even though it was 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to the heat, just being born in the South, and I can just, I don't know, breathing is like a big thing for me. But like, I noticed people were struggling.
Yeah. Because like I felt like asking people to start at 10 a.m. and go till midnight, which is basically what we did, is like a lot to ask. Granted, there was lunch, there was dinner, there was time in between, but like I always was nervous that day, like how people would react to being like, all right, we just need you all for like 14 hours just to rock with us.
So, and then the running joke was, okay, so two different ceremonies. The first one was your wedding.
Yeah.
The second one was Xenia's wedding.
Yeah.
I think the running joke was like, you were married, but she wasn't during that
I gotcha. That's funny.
Everybody was like, all right, so you're married, but Xenia's not married. It was like funny. But yeah, then during Xenia's part, you guys walked down. You didn't walk down the aisle together the first one, did you?
Like on the way out?
No, on the way in.
On the way in? I walked.
Unless I missed that.
On the first time, I walked with my brother and her brother.
That's what happened.
Yeah, and you guys were all behind me.
Yeah.
And then the second time,
you walked with her.
Oh? No, I walked with my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then, you had an instrumental. That was the second one.
That was the second one. Yeah, because everything was Indian on the first one. And I think you and my cousin are the only two people.
Who else?
Anika, my cousin from DC. She was the other one that was like, you played that Moon instrumental. I was like, how?
So Archit plays Moon by Kanye West and Kid Cudi. the instrumental of it, and it was beautiful. It really went perfect. It blended perfectly. But yeah, I was the only one. I'm looking back at the guys like
everyone else.
Nobody's realizing
it was real subtle.
Real subtle.
I got permission before putting it on the
Xenia.
Okay.
And Xenia, how did you feel about that instrumental? Because I thought it was beautiful.
I thought it was really nice.
Same.
Like, I wouldn't have let him walk down to that in front of so many people if it didn't seem appropriate that night for the occasion.
Yeah.
It's
well, like, I've been saying for years, I was like, when Ultralight Beam came out and like all these other songs came out, I was like, it's either played at my wedding or my funeral, one of the two. Yeah. So I got into my wedding.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember Brian's bachelor weekend. We drove down together.
Oh yeah.
And that album was coming out.
I think that album for me always reminds me. I like it so much because of that car ride. Because we listened to it live coming out. We're like, oh, let's go.
And I think when Moon came out, I'm pretty sure we looked at each other. We were like, that's one of them ones where like you can.
Yeah.
We didn't say put it in your wedding, but like it was one of those ones that it was really sweet.
Beautiful song. Yeah.
So when you put it in there, I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." I was like, "You goaded for that." Put in one of your Kanye songs in there.
Had to slide it in.
Yeah,
man's crazy, but
yeah,
the song's beautiful.
And then, yesterday you were telling me that you didn't know much of what was going on during the ceremonies.
Neither. We had been at our parents had explained it to us, but we don't do rehearsals are done here. So it was all live.
All live. Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it though. To me, it was like y'all looked like you planned it, and it looked good to me.
Well, I'm sure
trying to pay attention because I'm interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thankfully, her family. She's like the priestly family in her religion, but her uncle actually, I don't know if you know, her uncle's the one that did the ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like her dad's brother. So for us, like they've done it before, and like for us, the priest that we had has done some of these before, so I think that helps, and that like it's not like a new officiant, but yeah, it was all live otherwise.
Got you. And were you guys good up there? Were y'all okay, comfortable, and everything? Because there was a couple moments I know people looked at Xenia and she was like, she had a face that was like, I'm over this.
Oh really? Oh no!
I don't think you actually felt that way.
During what ceremony?
I think the
second,
the second one, yeah.
Oh really?
I could see that one being less. Because all the excitement's
gone. I think we were just ready to be done. It was also really hot in our outfits.
Yeah, that fire. When I first sat, because like we came from the barat to sit down, and I'm just like, I'm sweating. Like it is unstoppable sweat.
Yeah.
But no, I think I didn't know a lot, but like we'd been explained everything that happened, so like I generally know like everything going on, but if you ask me like, oh, this meant this piece, I won't be able to tell you.
Got you. So and then after that we went inside.
Yeah. Some
of the speeches were happening. How'd you feel about some of the speeches that you guys got?
I mean
your dad killed it, I thought.
Yeah, and then Xenia's dad pulling out the Steelers shirt.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That was crazy.
God. So the Bengals fans are here, right? All my friends are Bengals fans. And freaking Pittsburgh Steelers,
huge Steelers family.
Xenia's family is
divided household.
So it's an NFL rivalry thing going on, and
pulls out a shirt
during
his speech and hands it to me.
And you had no choice.
I was saying, I think it's the first time I think I've heard booze at a wedding. One of my friends in residency came up to me and he was like, it's the first time I've been booing at a wedding before. I was like, there were some cheers too, I guess. But
we had a few.
There were
a few from Xenia's side.
But like you guys were sitting right, like you guys were like the next table right there. I heard all like the booze.
Yeah.
It was fun though. That was a great moment.
I'm not a Bengals or Steelers fan, and I was like, yo, that's a crazy move. Right That's a wild move.
My brother did.
Your brother was incredible,
Yeah, he's changed the whole thing.
Yeah. You know we had a bet on it? We had a bet on him.
No, so did I. What was your bet?
That he would cry.
Oh, no,
I told him, and he said he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He said he wouldn't. Zubin said he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I think Brian even said he wouldn't. And I was like, you're going to cry when you start actually talking. It's a different feeling once you're up there.
Once you're
talking about your brother like that.
Yeah.
you're gonna choke up, and he definitely did.
100%. Yeah. I think what's crazy to me is he scrapped the whole thing.
That's what I heard. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, because of what my dad said before.
Yeah.
So like he just changed the whole thing to explain that situation.
Before. That's interesting.
Which is crazy though, because I told you I'd scrap Brian's the day of too. Which I think it just makes it better. Like you just got
you forgot you did that.
I scrapped Brian's too the day of and rewrote the whole thing. I think it's just like when you're in those emotions and you're connecting on things, it's all just like in the flow.
Mm-hmm. Got you. So yeah, then we had food. Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
That's when we had the meatballs and we call them meatballs. Everybody that's American like the meatballs, but what are they actually?
Like I said, I don't know. I didn't have them. Like we barely got to eat at our own wedding. So
really?
Yeah. So I don't even know what you're talking. Like I'm glad they were fire because everyone's told me they were really good. But
they looked like meatballs, but they were like I think they were vegetarian.
Okay. Yeah. Everything in the morning was vegetarian. Yeah.
Really good, and like they had like these lo mein noodles that had some spice to them. They were really good too.
Nice. Yeah, I don't even know. I'll have to ask my dad has the whole thing, so I'll ask him.
Yeah, and then we took pictures, and then we got back. We did our entrances, and we danced. Yeah. Again, so we danced Friday night.
Yep.
And then we danced Saturday
morning and Saturday night.
Wait, Saturday morning we danced
with the bride.
With the with the horse and everything. Yeah.
A lot of dancing.
Yeah, a lot of dancing. I got home Saturday night. I couldn't make it up the stairs without feeling it. I felt it all. Yeah. Danced the night away. I mean, nobody was safe around me. That's what I kept saying.
Glad you had fun, man. I appreciate you guys embracing all the chaos and the craziness of it.
I was a big fan of the Indian music more than the American music.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We decided to keep it separate for each day just to keep the vibes a little bit different. But the drums and Indian music are like, they can get you going.
Yeah.
Get you going.
The bass goes hard.
I wasn't
expecting that.
Yeah. I think, honestly, like, we don't need to talk about it here, but I think that's where, like, you hear so many Indian people listen to, like, hip-hop and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the drums are just very similar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never really put that together. Yeah, man, I was hurting after that, and I was all over the place. I enjoyed myself a lot, and then coming back
to hear it.
Reality and like stuff sucks, man. You're just like I gotta go to work and all that. But you guys took days off.
We had till Wednesday, which I still feel like I'm slowly recovering, but better now than I was last week at least.
Right. Now you guys gonna have a highlight video of like the wedding and stuff?
Yeah, we got like a videographer, so they'll put something together probably like 4 or 5 months down the line or something.
Gotcha. Nice, man. So yeah, that's basically the wedding stuff, man. We can transition into some Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Before I even hit that, so like MCU stuff, right?
Yeah.
And right now is a big thing. We're like Marvel's kind of going through some things.
Yeah.
And people are in trouble.
It's tedious. Tenuous, I should say.
Yeah. Delays are happening. The writer's strike is killing things, and I think even before all of that, there was this whole discussion about superhero fatigue.
Right.
How do you feel about superhero fatigue, especially being somebody that's kind of like not all the way in it like that, but just you? I'm sure you feel that too. Like it's just a lot of superhero movies.
Yeah, I think, but like I read a quote somewhere. It was like there's no such thing as like superhero fatigue. Right. It's just like good
or bad,
or it's like either it's an original story or it's not. I think when people talk about superhero fatigue, they're talking about the boilerplate, like grew up in a bad situation, had something happen to him, got some kind of superpower, got revenge on the person, now he helps save his neighborhood. Like that, I think that story has been played out so much that's fatigued.
Okay. So what about even now, like with MCU right now, Sony and like the movie we just watched that we're going to talk about in a second, and even like there's like singular movies out there too that are hitting on this multiversal thing.
Right.
And I think everybody was so excited about the whole multiverse story being told, but it's like I feel like everybody, even DC in the Flash movie, like they're doing their own multiversal thing. Yeah, I think maybe that is like something that's kind of adding to it, or like maybe it's confusing people or something. I feel like there's a disconnect with like the multiversal story.
Yeah, I think
it's not easy to follow.
Or is it just like, like there's just so much content. Like
That's
there's,
true.
I can't like, it's so hard to be invested in like 6 different people. Cause like I think we always talk about like the first couple phases of MCU being so masterfully done because like people got to focus on one person at a time,
exactly,
and then build it up. But now if you put in 4 or 5 different people that I gotta like somehow catch up with all these characters, and then you have all the other content that's available now. Because like I think people forget like when the MCU first came out, it wasn't like net streaming and stuff wasn't as big as it was. So like movies were still like people's sole attention. Now you're gonna have like 5 different streaming apps
you can go through,
and like it's just so much content.
That is very true. That's very true. Because like I remember when a lot of these MCU shows that were coming out, there was also a lot of other things coming out too that held people's attention. Like House of the Dragons was out.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a time where House of the Dragons was out. There was an MCU show. I forget, some other popular show was coming out at the same time. Oh, the HBO, not the HBO. What's the other one that's similar to House of the Dragons that was on Amazon? The Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
That was like held a lot of people's attention, and just just got a lot happening at once. I agree with that, but I do think that they lose some people with all of the content.
Yeah.
Like for example, like my dad. Like I got my dad caught up, right? But now with all these shows and stuff, he's like, he's like tapping out.
Yeah.
Right?
And it'd be nice if there's like they tried, like I'm sure you know better than I do, but like that singular, like if Kang was supposed to be like the singular story to help piece all this into, I think that's where like, if you don't have that, then it feels like, I don't know, I don't want to, like Miss Marvel, I didn't watch that.
You didn't watch that? I was about to ask. So like, what have you watched and what haven't you? You've caught up everything up to Endgame, right?
Yeah.
And then
Endgame,
Loki.
I've watched Captain America or
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
You watched WandaVision.
Watched all the movies I'm caught up on, except the new. I didn't watch the new Thor.
Oh yeah, I think I told you don't have.
Maybe
that's literally. Yeah, oh my god, That's the only Marvel movie I like shit on. I shit on it, and Thor's one of my favorite characters, man.
Bale was supposed to be incredible in that too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that movie hurt me to the core, bro.
Yeah, but I think that's where this all started. I think was like that and Guardians, because Guardians probably didn't live up to what it needed to. I think is when people were like, oh, maybe.
Wait, this Guardians?
Yeah.
No, we didn't watch that Guardians movie. We watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
You're right.
Have you watched Guardians?
I haven't watched Guardians.
You haven't watched Guardians?
Because I keep thinking I watched Guardians, but you're right, it was Ant-Man.
Guardians 3 was pretty solid.
Good.
I would watch that. I mean, you can wait till streaming, but like, I would watch that one. That's a really good finale to that trilogy.
Yeah.
It was Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
That
was
right.
Like pretty average.
Yeah.
Like it was just okay.
Like good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it could have been more, I think.
For sure.
And that's what a lot of the Phase 4 stuff. So, as you see, Marvel's responding to it, and like they're slowing down and trying to work out things. Because I think even Kevin Feige was like, you don't have to. You can. He says you should watch all these shows and stuff, but I feel like you don't really have to.
Yeah.
When people ask me, I basically tell them like Miss Marvel, if you're interested in her, I would watch the first 2 episodes and then the last 2 episodes of that series.
Gotcha.
And you'd be pretty good with it, I think.
That's fair.
She-Hulk, I would watch maybe the first episode, first 2, and then also like the last 2, stuff like that. Like when Daredevil comes into play. You don't need to watch it all. You watched Eternals too?
No, skip that one too.
Skip the Eternals, yeah. Like, Eternals will be important once they start telling more of that story. I don't think it's important right now. But yeah, you got time. You can just throw something on. You got Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, and that's. I think that's the other thing is like I feel like if it's that important, they'll have to explain it to me in whatever movie it becomes important. Because like
That is true.
Because like as caught up as I am, I'm probably still caught up more than like the average person.
Yeah.
So like if it ever becomes important, they'll probably just have to tell me in like 5 minutes or something why.
Got you.
Why it's important.
I feel like Across the Spider-Verse did that a little bit because they kind of told you.
They caught it up super fast and like it was perfect. Because I think I had like 1 or 2 questions for you because I couldn't remember a couple of things. But other than that, I was like, all right, I remember where we're at.
Got you. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Across the Spider-Verse. Just general thoughts.
Great. Like incredible.
Yeah.
More so, I think like not even just the movie, like the storylines and the characters, but like the animation is just so much fun to watch. I think that by itself would have made it like a great movie, and then the fact everything they did with the story makes it even better.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it's one of my favorite movies. I keep saying this is like obviously over 1,000 animators worked on this movie, which is like a world record, right?
I believe it.
Yeah, and I felt like I owed it to them to go watch their art.
3 times?
So 3 times. So Thursday, I went to see it last Thursday when it first came out, and that's when I rushed over to your the first part of the wedding. Rushed over in my Spider-Man shirt and flip-flops.
It was fine.
Should have hit me about it, but and then I watched it Sunday. Somehow I was able to watch it Sunday when that was like the ending part. I think that was just you guys.
Okay, who'd you watch? Oh, on the you're talking wedding Sunday?
Yeah.
Who'd you go with on Sunday?
Was I by myself?
I
might have went by myself again.
Okay.
Yeah. I went by myself.
Need to see it
twice.
Yeah,
because I was fiending for it.
Yeah.
And then got you and the homeboy Brian Muff.
Yep.
To go see it yesterday, and I think our boy Muff fell asleep a little bit halfway through.
As he might.
It's a Muff move. But you was there paying attention.
Oh yeah.
And so it starts out with Gwen Stacy in her world, which I was telling you about, like the watercolors and stuff. It was, like, pretty
beautiful.
Cool. And they're telling her story. How did you like her as a character and her story intertwined with this whole movie?
I think I want the watercolor. I almost like hit you because I was like, did they redo some of the animation for this movie? And I pieced it together that she wasn't in the same place anymore. But I think her story is like an interesting parallel, but I think it also goes to show like the whole general point of the movie was about like breaking canon and things don't need to be the way that it needs to be.
Right.
And I think her little bit right there was, even in the first like 10 or 15 minutes, the choices that she made there, you could already tell this was like someone that was not gonna conform to canon, or this wasn't gonna go the way it was supposed to.
Right.
So I think it set up her character and then even the larger themes in the movie like perfectly in like the first like 10-15 minutes.
I agree with that. And then so during her first like 10-15 minutes, she's telling her story in her world, and a lot of people say that there's no sunflower. The song Sunflower?
Yeah.
There's no sunflower in this movie. But I don't know if you haven't listened to the soundtrack, right?
No, I love Sunflower.
Yeah, Sunflower. So Sunflower's a good one, right? It worked perfectly in the first movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite song off of this movie is called Self Love with Coi Leray, and it plays during her section, during her like first 10 minutes. I'll play it to you like later.
Yeah.
But it's my favorite song on the album, and it matches perfectly with her like portion of the movie.
Gotcha.
It's not the Sunflower song, and it definitely doesn't have the Sunflower song, but I think the album as a whole is really good.
No, I thought the soundtrack fit everything. The part where I remember the music the most was when she comes to see him. Yeah. And whatever music's playing.
Blake,
yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, that was like that music was incredible.
Yeah, because he was grounded. He had to think about some things, and he drowned
put the headphones in. I was like, wow, like you can relate. I know we both can probably relate to that. Just throwing.
I think that's what we do. I think that's how we listen to albums
Yeah.
in general. Is like, especially somebody like a Kanye or like my guy Travis Scott or something like that. we'll just put the headphones on and just sit there and just
transport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, during her segment, they have like a vulture from way in the past, because of the collider in the first movie. Like there's portals being opened up and stuff like that, and she's dealing with it. With her pops is kind of watching too. And then, hey, Muff in the chat. What up, Muff? How we doing, man? What's up? He said, what up?
What up?
How we doing, Muff? But yeah, he's being transported to Gwen's world. She's taking care of it. She's kind of cornered or whatever, and then portal opens up. Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. What were your like first impressions of that character?
I mean,
it's different.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, there's like some Ultron Spider-Man.
Exactly, yeah.
Like there's like some crazy Spider-Man that like, I honestly, the first thought I had was like a Doctor Strange, where he's like, has accumulated all the power. Oh, when they said in Spider-Man 2099, I was like, this guy's probably so advanced. He's seen it all. Yeah. And it was like the guy. So I was like, oh yeah, he's going to be like super.
Yeah, he's a futuristic Spider-Man. And then he's like, his webs and stuff is different. Like it's all.
It was like red, right?
Yeah,
red. Like lasers and stuff.
And I haven't read much of his comics. I was kind of getting it from my boy Jam. Shout out Jam. That he's got like he's like a vampire as well. Like
I could see that.
Yeah, there's a part where he's about to bite. He like turns a little bit. He's about to bite the dude's head off, like the vulture's head off.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, he's got like some vampire qualities to him. So I'm interested to know more about him. If I can, I may just have to read some of his comics, honestly. But he's a really cool looking character, and they kind of get into his backstory too, and why he is the way he is during the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing his thing, showing off a little bit. The action's really cool during this part.
Yeah.
And then
especially the different animations like that. They did the vulture and like the old like 2D.
I'm glad you caught on to that stuff, man, because it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then he calls for backup on this AI with the AI thing that he uses, and Jessica Drew comes in. Forget what's her name that plays Issa Rae.
Okay,
Issa Rae plays Jessica Drew. Yeah. And then what's the homeboy that plays Miguel O'Hara? What's his name? Oscar. What's his name? That played Moon Knight. That plays the. Yeah, Oscar Isaac.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
They got him twice?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's all over the place.
That's wild.
He's all over the place. So Oscar Isaac plays Miguel O'Hara 2099. Issa Rae playing Jessica Drew. And I thought she was cool. She voiced her really cool.
Yeah.
Her interest on the motorcycle or whatever. So, yeah.
That was hilarious. I think it was very Marvel of them to be like, here's a new character in like the middle of a fight scene. Let's make like a pregnancy joke.
Yeah.
Let's like, I think they do such a good job of, but like, I think when she came in, I was like, okay, so like we're about to get like all these crazy different Spider-Man then. Like I'm not even sure what we're about to see Spider-Man wise.
But they hold off.
Yeah, just those two,
Yeah, so they basically secure everything. And then they go, she kind of runs out of power or whatever. She's kind of hunched over, and her dad is like coming up to her, and she reveals herself to him. He's hurt. Like they do the whole watercolor like emotion.
Yeah,
thing.
but it drips. Yeah, exactly. That sounds crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he's hurt on his face, and his cop mind was like, look. I could read you your rights, and you're gonna be under arrest, right? And he's about to take her. Miguel O'Hara stops him, puts him in like one of the little barrier things, and they're looking back. Jessica Drew's kind of like looking at her like, let's take her, right?
Yeah.
And then they jump into the portal, and what happens next? I think that's it for the first like part of that movie, and then it goes into the Miles thing.
Right. Yeah, because it breaks. Yep.
It breaks. So. Go back to Miles' world in the 1610 with Brooklyn. So it goes from like this watercolor background to like this animation, which is like vibey and like it's like some like blurry black backgrounds and stuff like that. But yeah, and then it opens with him saying the whole Spider-Man thing again, the intro and some funny bits in there. With him apologizing to the world twice. It's pretty funny.
Some over like an endorsement or something.
Yeah, it was like a baby powder.
Baby powder. That's right.
They apologized for it, and then the mustache thing.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like happy about his new threads that he got, which people clown on him the whole movie for the threads.
Right,
it's hilarious. And what else? We're introduced to the Spot during this time. He's fighting the Spot. What were your thoughts at this moment about the Spot?
Initially, I think they do such a good job. He seems like a harmless person, just like trying to rob an ATM. And you're like, all right, like this is just a setup to like get Miles reintroduced. But
another week.
Exactly. No, that's how he's introduced. I thought it was great. I was like, this guy's probably not what we're gonna be dealing with.
Yeah, Miles was not worried at all.
No.
So he's late to a parent-teacher conference. And this, what's happening? Parent-teacher conference. He ties up the Spot for a moment, and then he goes in, and they're basically going over his grades, and he basically breaks it down like why he wants to go to Princeton, in New Jersey. He's a smart dude, right? And he wants to study quantum physics, dark matter, so he can travel time and stuff. Like he's like, these people are teaching this, and that's where I need to be. Kind of has like a heart with the parents a little bit there, and the teacher, whatever's going on about the story and struggling story and stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? That's your story.
That guy gotta have a story.
Gotta have a story, right? Miles dips up out of there and to get the Spot because he sees him, and Father also dips up out of there, and leaves Rio behind. And what happens? Yeah, the lady tells Rio like your son's lying. She's lying. Or he's lying to you. And so they have a whole scene with the father, Miles as Spider-Man, and the Spot. And they basically go back to where it all started, like the Alchemax with the Collider, and Spot's telling his origin story, which I thought was really cool. Any thoughts on this particular
on the origin story?
Yeah. Do you remember him from the beginning?
I don't, so I'm glad they had explained it back. But
the whole bagel being tossed. Do you remember the whole bagel scene?
No.
Where he's running out of Alchemax or whatever, and he throws a bagel back there, and he hits the guy with the bagel, and that guy was the Spot.
Oh, like Miles throws the bagel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like a funny comic thing.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good origin story for like if you're trying to make Miles have consequences for all of his actions,
right?
Then he's like a perfect villain,
right? Because it's all connected.
It's
like, which even at this moment we didn't know how connected everything was, but he basically goes into like he brought a spider over from another universe. That spider fights this Miles, and I love the way he puts it. Like I created you and you created me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, but
now look what you did to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you have all this.
Yeah. He's like, I made you into a superhero. You made me into this, which I thought was pretty cool. And then he goes kind of crazy with his spots, and he falls through his spots, or like he
into his own
his own self. Yeah, like kicks himself in the butt. Yeah, falls into his own self, and then he figures out he can basically multiverse travel. He can travel with his spots, and that's when he puts it together to keep. Well, he loses all his spots while he's doing that, and he figures out he has to get more spots. He can build like mini colliders by going to each of these multiverses.
Yeah.
And like taking that power from the colliders and making himself more powerful. So he figures that out. And during this, he goes to like Lego World.
Yeah.
He goes to Lego World, which is pretty cool.
See, those are the types of stuff that like I feel like they'll do like winks to people that like know stuff in the comics and stuff during those scenes. But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, he was really cool.
You're one of our best.
You're one of our best. You're one of our best. That was so fun. I think everybody loved that moment. Like Miguel telling the Lego Spider-Man that you're one of our best. It's like, of course he is. He's a beast. He visits the Venom world, which the lady at the gas station or at the bodega, and she's seen crazy. She's like cool with Venom. Like I don't know if you know. Have you seen any Venom movies?
No.
That lady is like cool with Brock and Venom, so she knows all of that,
and that's why she's not phased
at all. He's like, this is another day for me. So yeah, he visits some portals, and then Lego Spider-Man calls Miguel. What happens after that? This is basically, he has that heart-to-heart with his dad as Spider-Man, which I thought was hilarious. Right. He's doing all the hand gestures. Yeah. He's like, as a person that's, not in the game, but this is what you should do. It was pretty funny. And then I think after that is the rooftop party.
Yeah.
The rooftop party happens. And what happens then?
Miles is late.
Miles is late because of the two cakes.
The cakes that don't pan out.
Yep. And
then they have a...
That's the argument.
The face-to-face argument after the heart-to-heart.
Yeah. This is the argument happens, and then they go, he goes into his room. This is that part you were talking about.
Yeah.
He drowns out to some James Blake, and Gwen comes in. She's hyped to see Miles, and she gets him out of the house, and they start swinging, and it's a really cool swing, really cool, feel good. Music is playing, they're vibing. She's testing him a little bit, what you've done.
Yeah,
and he shows off a little bit. He's doing his thing. He can keep up. And then she takes a detour or whatever to put the spider thing down. The spider to view the spot because she's there really for the spot,
right? Yeah.
She's not really supposed to be with Miles, right?
Yeah.
And during all this, she leaves her jacket in Miles' place. Rio and Pops comes in, finds the jacket, and they're like, adding months. Yep. They're adding months to the to the ground. 3 months. Yep. And then what happens then? They have the swing. She's looking out on the spot, and they go to their spot. Like they go to his spot on like this bank building, and this is really cool because they do like a weird, like not a weird, but go underneath it,
right? But it's
the universe turns, like the outline background turns with them, which is a really cool thing. And I saw people were gushing over that too because it's like they basically did film work. Like through animation,
exactly.
So it's it's not really like a camera thing. It's an animation thing, but they acted like it was a camera
right
thing. And sometimes during this movie, I forget that it's even animated. I don't know if you felt that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, sometimes it was like I'm forgetting I'm watching animated characters because the way they just drew out the emotions and the way they did the art.
100%.
Like a lot of the stuff felt real. Yeah, they have that talk, and she's telling him like when Stacy falls for Spidey in every universe, it doesn't work out, and he's getting closer to her and stuff, and they go back to the barbecue, and he brings her, and during my review, it was like that was a bad decision to bring her to the family barbecue
when you're already
you're in trouble, and she doesn't do well either. She's pretty nervous to meet his parents and. She gets the jacket back or whatever. She calls them by their first name.
Right, the whole thing.
Yeah. But then her watch goes off and she has to go to see what Spot's all about. And this is when they have the heart-to-heart with mom. She goes into it. Any thoughts on that? Like, where were you? Because this was part of the trailer. A little bit. This is one of the trailers was
I truly don't even know if I watched a trailer, to be honest. I had already
sometimes
made
it's
up
good
my mind.
To do that.
And that I was going to go watch it, so I don't even know if I needed the trailer. But I think Yeah, that I think is like I was like, I think anyone in that situation has had that discussion with your parents.
With the parents, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was just, I think we're a bit older now, so I always wonder like these movies, because I remember movies watching them when I was a teenager, like would like live with you. So like I don't know for like older now, it's me mostly like reflecting on stuff that I did or conversations that I had. But like as a teenager, I'm sure like that's like this movie for you going through that could be like, this is how Miles is handling it. This is how he got through it. Like you could attach yourself to Miles in a way.
Very interesting. Yeah, I like that point.
So I thought it was a very like I think the whole theme in general was very much like anyone could has been through this road and can. There's all the Spider-Man stuff, but like you can relate 100% to what they were saying. Yeah. So I think that adds like a different type of depth to the conversation.
I honestly think that's why a lot of grown people go watch these movies. Yeah. Because they can like sit there and see some of their like the past selves in it or something like that.
Because like we're not parents yet either, but like if you are a parent, then you're on the other, like you maybe reflect more on the other side of that conversation more so than you might not identify with Miles, but you identify with his parents. Yeah,
that's very true. Also, like during this movie, especially during this part, where like he's trying to come out as Spider-Man, right? I think they subtly play on some other things.
Oh, 100%. I was going to say the same thing. How difficult is that to say?
Come out with anything to your parents like that, something big like that.
100%. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So it's very big. I mean, obviously I think about my brother. Yeah. You know, it's just, it can be hard. And I feel like they kind of hit on that. And I think that was intentional. But not very in your face. It wasn't in your face. I like when it's like that.
Nothing they do such a good job by everything's like undertones and nothing's like, wow.
Yeah, that's why I feel like sometimes like as a kid, if you're watching this, you may not like, get all of this kind of like these messages they have.
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. If you are someone that's
going through
that and you're like, there's no way. Like if you were needed to come out or somewhere, that conversation I bet goes straight to what you're dealing with.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, man. They definitely have a lot of messages in it. I always enjoy. I think a lot of like animated movies have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you're somebody that also enjoys animated movies.
Yeah, right? I just think you can do stuff you can't do with film. Yeah. Like anything's possible. You just have to animate it.
Right. Speaking of which, I got you to watch your first anime.
Yeah, man. I almost wore the shirt when it was in the laundry. I was like, shoot, I'm coming on Kirk's thing.
Nah, you're good. So I got Archit to watch Attack on Titan.
I'm done with it in like 2-3 weeks. It was over. I don't think Xenia was very happy with me for those 3 weeks, but
oh man, so he's never watched an anime before, but I knew that was an anime that you could get into. Yeah. Like I kind of know your taste in some things. I'm like, it's one of those that's like kind of just mysterious. It's mysterious to it, and there's like you have to figure some things out.
I was gonna say, it just has to jog my brain a little
exactly.
bit.
Yeah. If it can make you think a little bit, which it does, and it's a good story to it. It's like, man, it's not for kids. Like that show is not for kids at all. Like that's what I think people mix up with a lot of anime. Like that's not for kids.
No, that's like
that's some adult stuff.
Yeah. I don't even know if you'd let like a school age kid watch that. That's like dark.
Yeah, it's dark. Yeah. But yeah, I get you into it, and
I then you got me a shirt.
Yeah, I got you the Scouts.
Shirt.
I got him the Scout shirt.
Love that.
Yeah. So I'm laying back now. I lay off now because I don't want you to get too much. I know. Yeah, I know there's shows. I'm like, Archie would probably like that too. I ain't gonna do that to you unless you ask. Unless Xenia's okay with it. Eventually. But yeah, so we back to the movie. She leaves. She's gotta go check on the spot. He has that heart to heart with the mother. Mother basically tells him to go. Go get her. He follows her, and this is when it kind of gets crazy. He follows her to Spot's apartment, puts on his invisibility. Yep, and they see basically what Spot's been up to. He's been creating he's been
like devouring colliders or something at multiple places. Or no, first they just do the back play where just in that he
spot,
created one.
Puts it together, powers it up, and Spot's everywhere. And I'm guessing at that point Spot is like he's gone to throughout the multiverse.
Always different. I took it the same way.
And I guess Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, calls in and is like, so what's going on? What's going on? She's like, nothing, whatever. But she has the AI track Spot. And like, now they're like, okay, Spot's here. What do they say? Call the local Spider-Man in that area. This is when I start smiling because I know what's coming. We get introduced. They go through the portal, and she goes through the portal. Miles goes through the portal. He makes that decision. Like he looks back and he looks at the rooftop. He's like, "All right, I'm going. Like F it, I'm going." They get to Mumbai.
That was wild.
Right off the bat, bro. Like, how did they do with Spider India? Because he's
it was great.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite characters.
It was amazing. Like I think we talked about this briefly, but like the overall just animation style. And the way they have him like portrayed was incredible. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
and like unexpected, like I'd never expect that in a million years. When I saw Moombaton pop up, I was like, oh my god.
Did you know as soon as that happened when they did?
Oh yeah, as soon as like that came up, and then I saw where like I think they were like falling initially.
Yeah.
And where they landed up, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're doing this!"
They're doing it.
I was like, and then my next question was, "What's the Spider-Man gonna look like?"
He's a beast. He looks a little different from the one that's in the comics. I think they bossed him up in this.
Gotcha.
He's a beast. And then what I was telling you, because I did some more research on it. Spider India. They don't get into his backstory and like how he became Spider-Man. Because in the comics, he's not bitten by a spider. He's like being bullied or whatever, and then he runs into an ancient yogi is what they call it, which is like a monk, like an ancient type of monk.
Consider it that way.
And that he grants him his powers. So his powers is not from a bite; it's more magical. But like he can swing, he can do everything with Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. So. I really am obsessed with the way they did.
He's so good, and like that little yo-yo thing. He
uses his bracelets, his bracelets, and they're all like connected, and he does like a lot of the triangle stuff. The way he moves is crazy, man. Like he's dancing. It's so fire, man. That's every time I watch the movie, I'm hyped during this moment. That's cool.
It's such a fun like 10 minutes of him just like. His story and the way he's swinging around. And he's played by, I forget the guy's name. He's have you seen any of the Deadpool movies? I saw the first one.
The cab driver, the Indian guy.
Depender. Oh, that's like
He's played by him. And
I
think he was wonderful in it.
Yeah.
So obviously they're swinging, trying to catch the Spot. It's now him, Miles, and Gwen, and they're talking about, he's kind of an instigator too. He's like, y'all in love.
What's
going on here? And they talk about Hobie, who's this character that she keeps bringing up, and Miles is kind of jealous. Like, who's this Hobie?
Who's Hobie? We don't know about Hobie. Oh, he doesn't know about Hobie.
He doesn't know about Hobie. So they're swinging, trying to catch a Spot. Spot gets to, and then Spider India is explaining kind of who he is too, and he's got a girl that he hasn't revealed to. And the whole chai tea joke. It was like chai tea, saying tea twice and stuff. He's really cool. And one thing I actually love about his character, we'll get to the other Spider characters too, but he remains positive the whole movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's the only one.
That's true.
Like everybody else knows like the sadness and stuff, but he doesn't, because it breaks, because what happens, right? He doesn't go through what everybody goes through, and I think he's the only one outside of, even Miles goes through the uncle thing. So,
right?
Like, he's the only one that hasn't had that happen.
Interesting.
So he's the most positive person in the whole movie. I actually love that.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. It's so true though.
Yeah. So it was really cool. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, it was really cool seeing him and then going to your wedding and like,
yeah,
it was really cool.
And then you had to be quiet about it. Until I saw it.
Yeah. It was really cool. Let's see. So yeah, they're swinging. Whatever. They get to the Alchemex there. The Alchemex building there. Spot gets there. Puts up a barrier, and he's doing his thing. He's about to run a machine. Miles wants to test out his new powers. Yeah. Puts his fingertips in it. Puts the fingertips on it and starts doing the shock absorbing thing. And we get introduced to Hobie, aka Spider-Punk, played by Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Played by Daniel Kaluuya. And he's funny. And actually, hey, I told you, remember they were supposed to have a new Spider-Man film there, like a new they sent new movies out to the theaters of the volume being raised, but it wasn't for ours.
No, I was gonna say
it was still really low.
You could tell some audio at times was low. Yeah,
I hated that.
Yeah,
because a lot of what Hobie says is really cool and he says some important stuff, but with his accent and the way it was low, sometimes you can't really understand.
Right, I definitely missed a lot of lines.
Yeah, but he's really dope. He's got the guitar thing, and he smashes through the barrier with the guitar. Right off the bat, this is probably the animation that you can recognize the most. That's like different.
Yeah, right. His character is very different.
Very different, and that's what his world is like. He's a lot of people's favorite character in this movie, and
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that too. Yeah. Rico, what's up, boy? What's up, Rico? Rico's one of my content buddies.
Oh, all right.
Content buddies, part of the council.
What up, Rico?
Shout out to the council. But yeah, so yeah, Hobie's there, smashes through the barrier. You know, they're kind of swinging, trying to fight the Spot. Spot is, at this point, he's leveled up a little bit, and he's like, he can handle.
Serious, yeah.
And he's after Miles. And you know, Hobie's also having a conversation with Gwen. You left your stuff at my place.
Yeah, right.
Toothbrush and stuff. Like, yo,
clothes. I think. Yeah, toothbrush. It's like,
Converses you're wearing. Like, oh my god. Miles is at this point. He's like, what in the world's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Spot basically gets the upper hand again, and he gets into the collider and gets that power. And this is the one where he turns basically. He turns, like, the animation is crazy. He goes like black. It's like dark.
Spot. Yeah.
And like just the lines and stuff.
And then he got it's like white swirls.
White swirls. Yeah. So, and then during this moment, I don't know if you caught it, like he shows Miles like a future.
Yeah. And the kid underneath the building. Yeah.
It's like his father and stuff like that. But it's also so how do you pronounce Spider India's name? It's Puppeteer Parker.
I missed it. They flashed it up so fast, and I was like, oh god, that's like some real Indian sounding name. But they nailed that for sure.
Puppeteer. They call him Pop sometimes, Puppeteer. How would you say that name?
Puppeteer Prabhakar.
Yeah. That's basically how they say it.
Yeah.
Multiverse Prabhakar. And what was I saying? He levels up, right? And he's all black. He shows the vision, which is, it's kind of like both his dad and it's also the cop that's in Puppeteer's world as well.
What I think is an interesting distinction there, though, is it's the animation of that vision is spots.
It's spots, yeah.
It's only spots.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, like, I know it's like the future, and he says this is like our future, but like the animation thinking through the entire movie it's like the white and black spot animation. It's like the only thing that we're going off.
That's very true. That is very true.
Yeah,
very true. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about that. Every time he's telling it and showing his like future and stuff, like he's it's definitely like spot.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. So yeah, that happens. Miles is kind of like, what did I just see? And they're kind of, the building's falling at this point, and everything is falling. It's like on a cliff, right? Umbatan is like falling, and the spider people gotta save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they do their thing. They start saving people, and then this was like the big point in this movie where it's Pov's turn basically.
Yeah,
you got that.
It's canon.
Like it's canon. It's Pov's turn to make a decision.
Yeah,
who you're about to lose right now.
And like I think it was interesting they made it so similar to like the other Spider. Like I think for people that like I don't watch a whole bunch of Spider-Man, but I remember the first Spider-Man. I think is when Tobey has like the truck and the uncle. Like that's like I was like, oh yeah, I remember that as a kid. Like it's the exact same scenario.
Yep. So the bus is falling with his girl, and then things are happening with the girl's father, who's the cop, and buildings are falling down. Miles is there, which he's not supposed to be there. He's like, yo, he's not thinking anything of it. I gotta go save this person. Yeah. So he's about to go save him. Gwen tries to stop him. And it's too dangerous. But there's reasons why she's saying that, right? So he goes down there, saves the dad of the girl, and then Pov saves the girl. So at that point, what I was saying in my review was like, at that point you felt like, okay, something that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen, and it does. And there's like Spot's hole is like
like they have that giant hole now,
and it's like sucking up Umbatan basically, and that's when the Spider Force team like shows up, and they're like, yo, we gotta contain this. Jessica Drew shows up. Miles is trying to introduce himself. She's not having it. And she's like, everybody at HQ now. Miguel wants to see everybody, including Miles. Miles is hype. Miles is ready to go to HQ. So they get to HQ, and this is when it gets crazy, kind of, with the whole cameo stuff, right?
I'm sure, you probably picked up on so much more than I did. I was just like, this is
that's why
crazy.
I've been 3 times. It gets crazy. And did you recognize any of them? Did you have any?
Not like I wasn't like, oh my god, this is like from this one.
So they're basically doing a walkthrough. Basically, you're being shown all these different Spider people. Did you have a favorite at all? That was like any that stuck out to you? That you were like,
no, none that I could even.
What's Rico saying? Said Hobie did a full 180 between his intro and when he quit. I thought he was pressing Miles. He was trying to help Buddy the whole time.
Yeah, no, that is so true. Especially because he comes in right when Miles is trying to break the barrier.
Or was I tweaking? Was 90s Spider-Man not in the movie?
Yeah, see, no, I thought the same thing.
The 90s Spider-Man?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
There was a moment where like during the chase though, that Spider-Man that pops up and he like stops. And I don't think that was the 90s Spider-Man. I think that was an old.
Because there wasn't one that I was just like, oh yeah, that's
the one. There was the Spectacular Spider-Man that pops up, but not. I don't think 90s Spider-Man pops up. Maybe they're saving him because they're saving a lot of people for beyond.
I could see that. I could see that.
Including like Tom Holland's supposed to be in that too.
And,
we'll get to the end of that later, but I don't think they had the 90s Spider-Man in there.
Donald Glover being in there was wild.
That was wild, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Do
you remember him from the? He's from Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like in the MCU.
Okay, I don't remember him in that.
What's significant is like he's not the in that he's the Prowler. In the Spider-Verse movie we just saw, he's like the Prowler, and in Homecoming he's not that yet. But you like he's kind of going that route, but like he's not that yet. And he basically, when I think somebody addresses him, he's like, I got a cousin named Miles. He drops that.
Oh, in Homecoming?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he drops that. So everybody's trying to make that connection, obviously, right?
Yeah.
A live action Miles Morales. But it was really cool to see him as the Prowler in this. And I think that, some people think that wasn't even that. Like it was a variant of that person, which it could be. It could be a variant in another universe. Who knows? They haven't really specified that, but that was like Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends. Yeah, I think you're right. I I think you're right. The Spider-Man that like, do you remember the one I'm talking about? Where during the chase, like, there's one that like literally comes up on the screen. It's like a real old voice, old time thing. That was pretty funny. Some of my favorites was the web slinger, the guy that's like on the horse, and he's got the horse on the mask too. He was pretty cool. You don't know about Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider is the one that, if you remember at the end when like Miguel and Jessica Drew and Scarlet Spider, he's the one with the like blue thing.
I'd have to probably rewatch it. Yeah,
he's the one that's like super exaggerating. He's played by Andy Samberg too.
Huh? No way.
Do you remember at the end when they, Miguel and Jessica Drew go and try to find Miles? There's another one.
The one that goes with them. Okay, got it.
That's
okay,
Scarlet
that's
Spider.
Okay.
Yeah. He's very big in the comics, and it's basically when they were doing the whole cloning thing in the comics. He's a clone of Peter Parker.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he goes to like live somewhere else, and he's a big comic character, so that's people were hyped to see him.
Gotcha.
His animation was really cool too. In the rain, he was looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's also one of my favorites, and then I told you Metro Boomin was in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was the one that was like, you can't go anywhere else. Right?
Like, sorry, you can't.
That'd be sweet. You get a spider for making the soundtrack. That's sweet.
I didn't think he was gonna be in the movie, but he was dope. There's a couple others that are my favorites too, but I like Miguel O'Hara's. I like 2099. I think he's just dope. But yeah, he's basically being introduced to all
the baby spider what's the baby spider's name?
So Peter B's daughter, Mayday.
Mayday. Yeah, Mayday's fire.
Yeah, and she's in the comics too. Yeah, so we go to Miguel basically, and he's coming down in this little thing all slow.
That's his thing.
Yeah, and he's basically telling Miles about the Spider-Verse, about the web, right? And I guess so. How did you take it all? Because they showed you a lot, and they basically give you the information of what it is,
right?
And what's supposed to happen and what's going to happen. How did you?
It was like the same conversation. I felt very similar to the Kang conversation at the end of Loki. Like I was like, it's the same. Okay. It's the same conversation.
Yeah.
In almost like you could set it in a different tone, but like it felt very familiar for me, and I think that's why. I think when we watched Loki, I was telling you, like I love like a villain that's like. Logically everything they're saying makes sense. Like you can't deny the logic. Like it's messed up what you're saying, but like logically I understand that point of view.
Yeah,
because that's how I thought. I was like, oh man, this guy's. Then I was like, he's gonna for sure be the new villain.
Yeah,
and like this is our problem now. So I think when he was explaining everything, I was like, okay, here we go. This is
Miguel being the villain.
This is who we're really gonna have to deal with now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you definitely had to. It basically becomes an intervention. And I think when all the other spider people started walking up, that's when I was like, oh shit, like they really trying to trying to contain him.
Yeah.
But he basically is telling him, every spider has to go through this. Peter B. Parker shows up from the first movie.
Right.
And he's there, and he's hyped to see Miles. He loves Miles. I didn't notice this in even the second viewing, but Hobie, while he's walking, Spider-Punk, while they're all walking to Miguel, he's like grabbing things.
Oh, interesting.
Because he makes that watch for
to
Gwen
give
later.
Yeah, interesting.
So I didn't notice that the first time, but
he already knows where this is headed.
He's knowing. Yeah, he's a visionary, bro. And just him as a character is just funny because he's against rules, establishment, anarchy type of guy, which plays a big role into this whole thing. But he's telling Miles like, look, everybody's got to go through this. Everybody has like an Uncle Ben. Everybody's Uncle Ben basically dies, or somebody close to you dies like an Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Like for Spider-Gwen, I guess it's her Peter.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, and then there's also this canon thing where the captains die. And this is when Miles puts it together, like, damn, my dad's about to be the captain.
Yeah.
He's like, when does it happen? Like,
right, which is a crazy question to ask.
Yeah,
like, would you want to know? I don't know.
He's trying to stop it. Though.
No, I know. Yeah,
like, when does it happen? I need to stop this thing, right? What I thought was crazy is that Spider-Gwen is there and her dad's a captain, and she knows this, and she's kind of like accepted it already that her dad is gonna. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like she knows her dad's a captain. Even Miles is like, "Isn't your dad a captain? Like, why are you okay with this?"
But that's where like when we were initially talking, did she? That's what I thought she already broke canon in like that first 10 to 15.
You think her dad was supposed to die during that?
Or like around that time.
About that. Ooh.
That's why I think like she had already broken canon in her 10 or 15 when she left.
I feel like wouldn't Miguel react differently if that was supposed to be the case?
I guess that's fair. He wouldn't have intervened.
Yeah.
That's true.
I didn't even think about that though.
Yeah.
That's a nice thought though. That's a nice thought because I didn't think about maybe.
But I feel like Miguel's playing some kind of lot because I don't even know why he brought Gwen. Why he agreed.
Yeah.
Because he had to have seen, as smart as this guy is, he had to know Gwen's going to go see Miles.
Yeah.
So like I think at some point there's some kind of a long game that Miguel's playing.
Really? That's interesting because people think that, but I've also seen this theory out there that I kind of like that AI person, that little AI girl, has some kind of like.
I believe it.
She
reminds me of the same like very like low.
We're about to say, People say that all the time.
Yeah.
Miss Minutes.
That's right.
She's very Miss Minutes. Because she's the only person there that's not a spider.
True.
Anything. Right?
True.
She's just like, who is she? Where did she come from? And then the way that. So during the chase scene when this is what people thought gave it away. Spider Bite. We get introduced to Spider Bite, which is the girl that's like controlling this machine.
Yeah.
She's like the virtual one. She's dude is sneaking past her, right? And she's trying to fix the machines because as Miles is turning it on and stuff through the invisibility. And then the AI girl comes and like tries that. Yeah, but she also like. It feels like she could just like turn it off if she wanted to.
True.
So almost like she wanted this to play out too.
True.
Kind of thing. Some people think that she has more into it.
Something to say.
She has something, which I can see. But yeah, so Captain's gotta die, and that's when he's explaining like what you did with Pop, like you intervened in his canon event, and something he's got to go through.
World's gonna.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. We don't see Pop at all during this whole time. Like Spider-Punk is there, everybody's there. I guess they don't.
Yeah, where is he?
They didn't fill Pop in at all.
Or did he stay in his world?
He stayed.
Okay.
He stayed.
Yeah.
Which now makes sense. I didn't realize that till second viewing too. Like it makes sense they wouldn't bring him because they don't want to tell him either. Probably. He's supposed to die.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why he remains happy the whole time. But he's not there learning all this like Miles is, and then Miles like, no, I'm like, what is this intervention where everybody starts walking towards him? He puts him in the trap, and then you see our boy Hobie Hobie.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man,
that was fire.
Get them palms out, man.
That was fire.
So Hobie always been looking out, and. Again, it's like another one of those subtle things where, like, I mean, it's a black Spider-Man, black and Latino, but like, it was one of those where, like, man, brother was looking out for a brother kind of thing, which I thought was pretty cool. And I wonder, like, what his power set is, and like how it's different because obviously he knows about the shock stuff.
Yeah,
and I wonder if, like, is it the music, like the guitar thing? Or like,
they don't really go into his. Yeah.
Why does he have like some shock powers as well as Miles? Like is this a Black Spider-Man thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is this a Black Spider-Man thing or what? But yeah, he does his thing. Miles breaks out.
Yeah.
Chaos is happening. This is the chase scene.
Yeah.
This chase scene takes a minute too. It's a chase scene.
They had fun with it.
Yeah, they had fun.
Yeah.
They said, I think I read today, like it took like years, bro. Like it took years for just the chasing alone.
There was so much. That's what I'm saying. There's so much happening. I don't even think I caught like 10% of what was going on the screen.
Yeah. Miles is feeling some type of way towards everybody. Peter, because B knows about this.
Yeah.
Gwen knows about this. he feeling some type of way, and he getting up out of there. And what I love about this whole thing is that Miles is showing off a little bit. Like they have Miles kind of like, yo, he's besting these guys.
Oh yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing his thing.
Out, yeah.
He's really like he's on the run. There's tons and tons of Spider people, and he's really like holding his own.
Yeah.
And you know they keep telling him you're just a kid. You don't understand. You don't understand. So the chasing goes on. Peter B snatches him for a little bit. They have a little talk, which I thought was cool.
Hold the baby.
Yeah, hold the baby. Hold the baby. It's the baby's first chase too. It's so funny. They're like running. And he's like trying to take a picture with Miguel. It's our first chase. Yeah, Peter B was great, and you know he has that talk with Miles. Like, look, I didn't think I could be a dad, and I had this baby because of you. Like, I want her to turn out like you. Like, you're awesome, which was really heartfelt. But you know, then they call in and they're like, got him or whatever. And he's like, no. Yeah, it sucks. And Miles looks at him like, damn, not you too.
Yeah.
So Miles goes off again. Ties up Jessica Drew on the way, which is cool. And you know, what I really like is Peter B's kind of like enjoying it too.
Oh right, yeah,
he's like, this is my mentor. Yeah, I'm the mentor.
Rude, yeah.
He's enjoying it. What's that? Miles is out there getting loose against all these bets. Exaggerated swagger of a black team. Yo, the exaggerated swagger of a black. Who said that? I forget who said that. Somebody said
he was
that.
going off.
Yeah, he was going off. He said definitely want to see Gambino in live action as Prowler. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to see live action Gambino Prowler. I think it could happen too. I think that's not the last time we see him. Definitely.
If they put him in, I feel like there's
no way. They got him during the chase scene too.
Booing
booing. Yeah. What do you say? Do y'all think Peter B knowingly was leading the gang to Miles, or did his?
No, I don't think he was. You don't think he knew on purpose?
I don't think he was doing it on purpose either.
No. Yeah.
But he just happened to have it, and they happened to track him.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of me also is like, if it's like kind of like story writing, you can't have someone with a baby be like inherently like a bad person. Like he just, as soon as he had the baby, was like always inherently like a good person. So for me, it felt very much like it was just accidental, and Miles just is distrusting of everyone at this point.
Right. So yeah, it's the chase scene. They're going up this little this train that's going up really high. I don't know where the train's going. I don't know much about the world. I would love to know more about the way.
I thought that was the way out initially. Like
he was leaving.
Where I thought he was going. Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, boy catches up to him, and he's got one of my favorite like little themes. You know, like whenever a person is in action, they have kind of like a theme.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099 has a really cool theme in my opinion. It's very like, I don't know how to really explain it. The sound is really cool. I think everybody's got like a cool sound when they're in action, but his is really dope to me. He catches up to Miles, man, and he says some things. Yeah. And I know a lot of people felt like the racist tones in this.
Yeah. Like, I mean, all facts though.
But right? Yeah, he's sitting there like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. Yeah. You're not even supposed to exist. You're not supposed to be Spider-Man. That Spider's from another world. That was supposed to bite the Spider-Man or bite somebody there. That world doesn't have a Spider-Man at all. But it bit you instead. Then the Spider-Man in your universe dies trying to save you. If you don't exist, that Spider-Man doesn't die. Like, you know, Spot's never created. Like, none of this is ever happening because you're the original anomaly. You're not supposed to be here. And it was like, damn. He cut deep with that too, man.
All facts.
He didn't lie. He didn't lie.
He made no lies.
So like part of me understands Miguel because they go into his backstory too, because he created an anomaly as well. When he went into a universe where he wanted to be with his family.
Yeah, he died though, so he filled in.
Yeah, and then like the whole world glitched out basically.
Yeah.
So he don't take no chances with this whole like being in charge and doing the anomaly thing. Like, he takes no chances. So I understand that. But like Miles' thing is like the way he looks at it, he's like, it can't be this way. Like it's just no
No,
way.
yeah,
it can be
it's
that
so
way.
inhumane.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you guys are just trusting this AI algorithm. Like there's no way. Like that's messed up. And I think Gwen is kind of feeling that too. Like this Miles has some magic behind him. Like he can do the impossible kind of thing, right? Yeah, he's giving it to him on the train. He's looking back at Gwen and Spider B, Peter B, and Peter B is like, "Yo, we talked about this. Like, you talked about this? You knew? Like, what the hell?" Yeah, he's like, "Look, man, I'm gonna do my own thing." The way he says it in his face is like badass.
You could tell he like grew up in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, that was another thing I missed in my review. Is like the way Miles kind of grows up within this movie was pretty cool to me. I think back to the rooftop scene when he's arguing with his parents, and you know he's saying, "I'm 15, like I'm a grown up." Like even in that moment, he's like,
"We said it before.
You ain't really grown like that." But then the way he is here, he's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna do me."
Yeah,
like,
which I truthfully think like in those like 5 minutes, he goes from a different character. Like him pre-train and post-train are like two very different people.
Yeah.
Because I think when you have that explained to you and then you're like, okay, I'm still going to do it this way, I feel like that's like a huge character development. Yeah.
Decision. So yeah, he gets his Venom Blast again. Blasts Miguel O'Hara off of him. And you know, because Miguel is basically telling him, "You're a kid, like you don't understand any of this, like you don't know what you're doing." And this is when he's like, "Yeah, I do know what I'm doing. I lured all you guys up here. Like, you guys are away from the machine right now." Blasts him off, and he drops out. And so then Peter B's like, "I guess he did have a plan."
Yeah,
I mentored that guy. I mentored him. Yeah, he's feeling proud a little bit. So yeah, he gets back to the machine. He's tricking his way in because he's doing invisibility with Spider Bite, who can't see him. Which I think is also cool. Like his powers, like he's the only spider that can do that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Hobie can do some of the electricity thing apparently with his guitar.
Oh, but the invisibility
I
see what you're
that's
saying.
That's only a Miles thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets past there, and he gets in the machine. Spider Bite lets him go. This is when it gets kind of crazy, because Miguel blames Gwen as well, sends her back to her universe, so she got to go deal with her bad. Like, she got to go deal with things, right? She got to go face to face with it. And then this is when he takes Scarlet Spider and Jessica Drew, and he's like, I thought before, even in my review, I said that he was going to go look for the Spot. He actually is going to go look for Miles. Yeah. I got that wrong. I thought he was looking for Spot. He's looking for Miles. So he goes, and this is when the movie plays this whole like, where are they kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, are they all in the same place or not kind of thing. But Gwen goes to her world first, right? Yeah, and she has that conversation with her dad, and this is big because this is when I think also maybe breaks canon. I'm not sure.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, I think we find out. Yeah. So like, she's giving her big speech about why she does the Spider-Man thing and like her badge, and she tosses her mask and everything. Her dad quits. Right there in her face,
halfway through the
speech. Quits. And then again with the watercolors, like it's like it's really dark, and then like when they hug or whatever, it's like white light and stuff. It's really cool. The emotion part to it, and so we know possibly that breaks canon because now he's not a captain anymore. I didn't put that together with my first watch as well, because I thought she was just relieved that he's not gonna be a captain anymore and that he would just be safe. I don't know how it works, but I don't know if it's just like a captain dies, or like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what we're gonna have to. We're outside the canon now.
Yeah, we're outside the canon now. She's like kind of relieved, but kind of scared.
Like,
I don't know what's about to happen.
Can't stick to the formula.
So they hug it out, and Hobie gives her
the
Hobie left.
Which that was sweet how they animated the watch too. It's his animation.
So yeah, she's able to now time travel again, or not time travel, but go where she wants. She starts putting a team together. She starts to get a team.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
But she goes to Miles's place first,
yeah,
right?
she goes to Miles' place first.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she talks to his parents, which I thought that was a wild thing
decision.
to do.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Scarlet Spider goes into the alleyway, whatever. She beats him up, whatever. And this is when they do the whole, like, she's at the window and you think that she's listening to Miles talking. And Miles is talking to his mom, and he comes out as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mom? Yeah, everything freezes, right?
Yeah.
So when did you put it together that he wasn't? Did you know? When they said it, when they sensed it, or when did you figure it out?
I think I figured it out that this wasn't the right place. I don't think I knew. I was late. I was probably when Uncle Aaron walks in the door.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, we're not even. Yeah. Because for a second I thought his mom just maybe didn't know.
That's what I thought too. I was like, wait, because I was trying to think. Mom has been around the dad a lot. Kind of working with Spider-Man. She would absolutely know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she's playing it off. That's one of your Comic-Con things. What are you doing?
Yeah. I was late. I was as late as I think everyone else. It wasn't until Uncle Aaron walks in, and I was like, wait a minute.
So even when Gwen was in the room, the same room.
Oh well, I'm sure when that happened. I just remember. Room. I don't think until they made it fully clear. I don't think I realized.
So she senses Uncle Aaron walking in.
Yeah,
she senses he's in the wrong universe, and he does too at the same time.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Wow, he's not here. He's in the wrong universe." And he's like, "I'm in the wrong universe. That spider that bit me was from this universe, and I'm now in this universe because the DNA, the machine sends you back to wherever your DNA is."
Right.
He starts glitching a little bit too. It's like, okay, yeah, he's definitely not in the right universe. Hugs Uncle Aaron or whatever. Uncle Aaron is playing it kind of slick. He asked him about his braids. He's like, you took him out on purpose? What's going on here? So you start to get a feel okay, he's something's all right. But then Gwen has that talk with the parents, assures them that, look, I'm trying to find Miles. Get him. He loves you guys. Rio's
5 months.
Rio's 5 months, man. 5 months. Gotcha. And then there's a creepy music playing at this point too. I don't know if you heard that. It was a creepy, droopy type of sounds playing. And he hugs Uncle Aaron, and they're going over the plan. So now Uncle Aaron knows. He's he's going over the plan, and he's glitching a little bit, and he can't tell them the plans. So he don't know. They get to the rooftop. They see the dad mural. Yeah. He's freaking out at this point. Jesus. What else is happening?
And then, he gets knocked out.
Yeah. It's real quick because it's not Uncle Aaron that knocks him out.
Right.
It's real quick.
Yeah.
And then while he's asleep, I think they go to a different scene.
Yeah.
Is this when they showed the team?
The team's slowly starting to assemble.
Yeah.
And then Miguel's on the rooftop waiting.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Right. And Jessica Drew is also listening into Gwen talk to the parents.
Yeah.
So you can almost feel like Jessica Drew's kind of turning as well.
She's on the middle.
She's in the middle. Yeah. She's kind of all right.
Yeah.
See what
she's savable.
Yeah. Yeah. She's putting a team together. Gets everybody, which includes Pav in this. So, because Pav is bro, this dude saved my whole universe and my whole life basically. He owes it.
Back,
I'm part of the band. To go get Miles. Peter B has a talk with Mary Jane. Mary Jane's you gotta. You know what to do. Baby mass up. Baby sees Gwen step out of the portal and is and she mass up. So we about to see some Mayday.
It's gonna be fun,
and action, which is crazy. Next movie. Next movie's gonna be crazy. But then at the very end, they get back to Miles, and did you knew it was gonna be?
I don't think
you didn't
so.
know
Yeah,
until
no, yeah, because I was trying to figure out who it was,
Yeah.
and then I don't know why I didn't realize that like the OG Miles would probably go with Uncle Aaron if the dad's dead.
Yep.
And I know until I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like when they took it off, I was like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, Uncle
But
Aaron's like, I'm not the Prowler. Like, I'm not. And then, he turns to the other side. He's like, they give him the camera view. Like, he's looking at him, like, hunting him. He walks up. He's like, so your father's still alive, huh? He's like, yeah. And he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes the mask off. He's like, he asks him, who are you? He like, takes the mask off. It's Miles Morales from the other universe, so from this universe. And how'd you dig the look?
I thought it was great.
The look,
yeah,
the braids and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I thought about it as much as you have, but like I thought for sure, I was like, oh yeah, this is like how Miles might have turned out. Yeah.
And then like obviously the detail with him being more Spanish, like because the mom influence without the dad.
Yeah.
It's like he's a lot more like Spanish. You can tell by his accent a little bit,
the
way he says Miles Morales. Yeah, I just like that detail, and he means business. He's like, why would I let you go? Why would I let you go right now? So yeah, that's basically in the movie. And I saw this tweet the other day that was telling us about the music in this scene. It's a blend of so many different people's themes.
Oh, okay.
So it does like the Spider-Man, it does Miles Morales theme music, right? And then it blends in the Prowler's theme, like Uncle Aaron's Prowler theme from the first movie. And then it blends in Gwen's drums from the beginning. And then blends in Spider-Punk's guitar at the end. It's like a whole thing in one, and it sounds really good. So yeah, it ends on like that high note, that cliffhanger. Obviously, it's part one.
Yeah, which I don't know if I realized, because like I said, I didn't watch the trailers or anything. I know we were in for a part one and part two situation. I figured it out like 10 minutes left. I was like, oh, it's been 2 hours and he just got back.
Yeah,
like he's just going home. It's gonna be a mess,
right? Because he's still got the whole spot thing. Right? But so yeah, it ends like that. Like, I guess, what were your thoughts of that ending, and how do you see it? Like, what are your? I guess we can theorize now. Like, what do you think could happen?
I mean, I think it's a great way to end. It reminds. I haven't been this like cliff hung since like Avengers. I feel like
that's what people were saying. Infinity War.
Yeah. And then because it makes you like, oh yeah, when's the next movie? I got to finish this. Yeah. And then there's also like where they've left him is so interesting.
Exactly.
Like, he's got to fight himself.
Yep.
Then he's got to fight Miguel. And he's got the spot to do it. You got to get through all of these people.
Yeah.
And then, like you were saying, all the forces are assembling now. So it feels very Infinity Wars. Yeah. Where, like, everything is set now for, like, this next movie to probably be just absolute, like, chaos.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. They don't have to waste any time, which I love. That's why I think everyone loves Endgame. Yeah. It's because, like, not a single scene in that movie is wasted. Yep. It's just the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Yeah.
So I think they're in a similar spot. So I think it's going to be huge. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I got sneeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was like, what an ending, man. Because definitely, my first thought was like, okay, he has to deal with this world that there's no Spider-Man. And I feel like that he's going to feel responsible for it. Now that he's in it and he sees it, it's like, things are on fire. It looks like damn Gotham out there. It looks like crazy.
It was bad. Yeah.
He's like, he's gonna feel some type of way and feel responsible about it. And what I love, I said this during my other video, like, what I love is that he sees his own self, the Prowler self, and he's like kind of like he's shocked, right? But at the very, very end, he makes a face with like the
right, as he's
he's making a face where it's like, all right, like let's do this. He's like kind of hype, not hype, but he's he's about to get to business, right? So
I forgot where he's like the chain. He's like messing with the chain and electrocuting.
Like, he's ready to go. He's ready to go, and I think that's a part of like the maturity now, where he's not just like this scared kid anymore. Like, he's like, all right, I gotta face this too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think he's gonna feel responsible for that world. And then I don't know, like nobody died in this movie, right? So
True.
some like there's got to be some kind
People
of tragedy.
Going, yeah.
In the Beyond, it's called Beyond the Spider-Verse, the next one. There's got to be some kind of thing that happens. So I find it hard to believe 2 movies where the stakes are this high and nobody perishes. That's kind of crazy.
I think it's interesting. I think his dad still might die.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Like they're kind of showing it like he might save him.
Yeah,
I think he still might. And I saw this crazy theory that he might kill him himself accidentally. That's dealing with the spot and his powers.
Yeah,
he may like somehow kill him himself or something like that. A lot of people also think it could be the switch in Rio. The wife dies, the mother dies.
Yeah,
that would suck.
Yeah, I could easily see one of them. Rio would be interesting. I didn't think about that.
My other theory is Gwen could possibly go.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like the way they made us care about her.
Yeah.
They did say it doesn't end well for Gwen Stacy's, right? She could possibly go, man, which is kind of crazy to think about. But, I guess. Is there anything else that you would like to? I got one other theory before we get into that. So there was a lot of talk about them showing Tom Holland, Peter Parker in this movie. There's a lot of talk that he was going to be in this movie.
Gotcha.
And apparently the creator said he was, but they're saving him for the next movie.
So
we already know we're getting it, right? My thing is like I think they didn't show him because I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man wouldn't have agreed with what they were doing. At HQ, I think he would have.
No, he would have.
Miles.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%.
That dude has compassion like that. And he gets it right. So I think he would have been on Miles' side. I have another thing that I would like to see in the next one. I don't know if they're going to do it. This is just kind of like a fan theory kind of thing for me. Is so they showed all these Peter Parkers from other worlds. Yeah. Other universes. In some of those universes, there are Miles Morales in those universes.
Right, that aren't Spider-Man, though.
No, that are Spider-Man.
Oh.
So, like, the PlayStation Peter Parker that they showed, there's a Miles Morales in the gamer universe. Like,
gotcha.
Like the games, there's a Miles Morales. I think the Spectacular Spider-Man, I want to say there's a Miles in that show as well.
Okay.
As a Spider-Man, yeah. So, like, some of these universes, like, there's a Miles Morales Spider-Man in it. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering. I would kind of like to see him come face to face with another Miles,
like a Spider-Man Miles.
Yeah, because I want him to know that he's not the only one. Like he's not alone as a Miles Spider-Man. I think that would kind of be good for him. I don't know. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder because my buddy Jam thinks that like, they're just showing him. They don't want you to think about that. They don't want you to just be like, these are cameos. Like, just take it for what it is. Yeah. It's cameos. But, like, for me, it's just hard to be like, okay, you're showing us this Spider-Man from the PlayStation universe, which obviously has Miles Morales in that universe as well. Yeah. So, like, is it something that they're holding back? Like, maybe they weren't invited to HQ because they're all Miles Morales as well?
Or they've been trying to get rid of all the Miles Moraleses.
That's crazy. But those... Under wraps. Get rid of them all?
Maybe.
Think Miguel been trying to get rid of them?
Maybe, yeah. They're all stashed away somewhere. Or like that's why he won't bring them
to HQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. I wonder if we'll see another Miles Morales Spider-Man.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Because you have the Miles Morales that isn't Spider-Man that we're going to have to deal with. It would be, it would be. I wonder what that would do character arc wise.
Yeah.
Could be, I could see it being good for him though. Be like, how have you been dealing with your stuff?
This stuff. And like, I would love
if it's a little bit older, like you could do all the
like older ones, right? Even so, people want to see Shamik Moore is the guy that plays Miles, and he's kind of an older guy.
Okay.
So people don't really want him to be the live action Miles Morales.
I gotcha.
But if he were to show up as like a live action Miles Morales in this movie, the next movie, like an older
that could
Miles,
be interesting. Yeah,
that would be kind of an interesting talk with like himself, kind of thing.
Yeah,
they can make it real meta like that. And then I would love for another Miles Morales to share with Miles why he has the powers he has. I've always been interested in like why can he go invisible? Why does he have the shock stuff? Right? Like why is he that different than Peter?
Yeah.
So I would love for like that explanation, but it's not something that's like I need to see it, but it's just kind of like the fan boy.
I mean, they're gonna have 2.5 hours at least for this next one, so
yeah,
they'll have plenty of time to fit it in.
Yeah. Anything that you would like to see in the next movie that's like
I don't know. No, I think why I enjoy them so much is that I literally have no idea which way they're headed. So like, I think that's why I enjoy them as much as I do.
Yeah.
I got no expectations for the Spider-Verse movies because I didn't know anything about the first one.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to watch this one, but didn't know anything. So I'm like, I think I'm just gonna roll with it that way.
Yeah.
Just fresh slate.
Yeah.
No expectations.
Nice. Well, yeah, man, that's the movie. Really, like I love the hell out of this movie. I love it. So
good.
I love that how everything's connected. Like I love that Spider come from another universe, created Miles. Miles creates the spot. Like I love how all of that's connected.
Yeah, they did a great job, right?
Yeah, explaining the whole canon event thing and why like Miguel is so tied to it, and then just obviously like the animations and the art of it.
Yeah. I think the animation for me is like the utmost. Like they did such a good job.
Yeah,
it's so much fun to watch.
It's so much fun. Yeah. Like it's so many like feel good moments too. It's like really cool just seeing them swing. Like I said, like pop swinging.
Because I don't think it would be like I think about like if you shot it as a real movie with like if you did it in CGI, I don't think it would be the same.
Like I think it's they
have so much fun with the way they're doing their animations.
Yeah, they took so much time making this movie. You can just see it. You can see it, like all the different styles. I think everybody's shined. Everybody shined with their styles. And, I think we got the next one coming out next year. I think March.
You said what, like 10 months or something?
Yeah, and I think most of it's done.
That's what we were saying. Hopefully, it's written at least because the whole writers.
Yeah, there's a writer's strike.
Yeah.
I think most of it's done. I think they have to film a couple other I think some of the voice acting stuff. Okay. I think they have to do some of the voices still. I think Haley Steinfeld said it. Haley plays Gwen.
No,
Haley
I don't know. Yeah, nice.
You know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She plays Gwen. I think she said she hasn't even done most of the voice stuff yet. So.
I can see the voice stuff being quick though.
Yeah, should be.
Animation would take forever.
Yeah, hopefully they did the animation stuff already, because that stuff took a long time. I don't want it to be rushed, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You have any other final thoughts on the movie? And for me, it's like I have it as a 10 out of 10 because it's
I got nothing to knock it on. I'll probably give it. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if it would be like my
anything to nitpick.
Or my echelon of I remember I keep the Dark Knight and Shawshank and all them up there.
Okay.
I don't know if it quite gets.
You said Shawshank?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. You're like my dad. My dad can literally watch that movie.
Oh, if it's
every
on
day
and I catch it halfway, it's just you gotta watch the rest now. But
Zini, how many times have you watched Shawshank?
She actually hasn't seen it.
No, you've never seen the movie?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We definitely gotta watch it one time.
I know.
It's a good ass movie.
So I think it'll be interesting to me to see where and I think that's the hard when you were talking about superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
To bring a lasting theme with you. For me, it has to be something I'm gonna externalize to my life to stay with me.
Yeah.
So that I think will be interesting to see.
Okay, so compared to the Avatar movie, I know you like the Avatar movies.
I do love the Avatar movies.
Where would you compare it to that?
I think that's actually a good place. I put Avatar, Endgame, and I'd probably put this in that same of just incredibly fun movies to watch and enjoy.
Yeah,
it would definitely be in the same.
Yeah, so I think don't we get the next Avatar next year too?
Yeah, not this December. I think it's next December.
Next December,
yeah. Those are gonna be fire. But those again, the story's fine. This probably has a better story, but watching it is just incredible.
Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah, man. Well, that's basically it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, our first live stream with a live guest next to me. not on Zoom or whatever. My boy Archit Sahai, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I have to roll through. We'll do it again for the next one, I guess.
Yeah, for the next one, have you come through, man.
For sure.
Yeah, everybody watching, super smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We out, man. The Alternate Timeline, we out. Appreciate it.